Like, what is your irrational fear? And the only reason we kind of got on this is because this kind of came up organically over the weekend. And I was talking about how, for me, my irrational fear is being on a sinking boat, like in the ocean.
Which is irrational because you're never on a boat.
I'm never on a boat. I've never taken a cruise, and that's just not something that I do. So that's kind of why it was like, okay, yeah, this isn't really a thing that you should be afraid of because it's not going to happen.
Exactly. But then it opened the floodgates. And a lot of people, there were many people that were on board with you with that. And they're like, it's just something about, wide open ocean, things that are in it. All the things. Yes.
Right.
Now, Desiree says she is afraid of being framed for murder. Or any other major crime.
Wait, why would you be afraid of being framed for murder?
No, she said, I've always had a fear of ending up in the wrong place at the wrong time. Maybe I watch too much TV.
It's like, yeah. I mean, you watch TV or you watch movies and things like that happen. And it's like, oh my gosh. Stacy said escalators, irrational fear of escalators.
Sure. Yeah, you think you're going to get sucked in the middle of it or something?
Well, yeah, she said there were a couple episodes of Rescue 911 when I was a kid where kids got stuck in them.
See? Yeah.
One girl with long blonde hair like me got her hair caught in one.
Oh, gosh.
And I just never got it out of my head.
See, well, yeah. And when you see it happen to someone in real life, then that becomes a real fear. You're like, well, if it happened to them, it could happen to me. Yeah, Casey says that someone will cut my Achilles tendon and I'll never be able to walk again.
Oh, my God.
I have no idea where this came from, but I try to sit cross-legged as much as possible so my ankles aren't exposed. Like, she thinks that anywhere she's sitting, someone is going to come up behind her and slash.
I'm telling you what, though. I mean, you see those injuries happen in, football and sports and stuff like that all the time, and it just looks so painful, and they're so hard to come back from. And
well, yes. And again, I would say I'll loop that into the jumping in and out of bed because the monsters.
Well, yeah, and Pete messaged us and said, my irrational fear is thinking someone or something going to grab my foot.
Yes.
If the covers come off me.
Yes. Because again, bed monsters can come up and grab. Absolutely.
You guys are funny.
Oh, Kyle says moths. I freaking hate moths.
Okay.
Butterflies, fine. Not moths. Never moths. They're irrational. And it doesn't matter where I sit. They always fly into my face, in my head. The moth will somehow fly up my nose and end up getting stuck inside my brain.
Wow, that went pretty hard.
It did.
Kyle.
It did. But again, that goes along with my fear of this. If I know of a spider in the house, it needs to be killed. Done away with, because it's going to, when I'm sleeping, crawl up my nose or in my mouth.
We've got so many more to get to. All right. Give us a sec. What's your irrational fear? I mean, we're really kind of unpacking some things here, and I like that. All right.
I feel like there are so many things that people are admitting.
Right. And
it's
you know
not
what?
your typical, we've gotten a couple clowns. I'm afraid of clowns. Of course.
Yeah.
You've heard people mention that before.
Sure. But I feel like we're really having a moment here. Us.
We are.
And unpacking these. Yeah.
Uh-huh.
All right. So more of your stories on the way next. All right. We're all being very therapeutic here on 99.7 DJX. What is your irrational fear? Diving into those, trying to help maybe dispel, maybe reassure you, especially when you hear others that have the same. 99.7 DJX.
She is really afraid of quicksand. Well, she said her irrational fear used to be quicksand. I feel like growing up, you used to see people getting stuck in quicksand and then becoming trapped, unable to escape. And now that I'm older, I realize how less likely that really is.
Yeah, I like a lot of you, probably felt we would be dealing more with quicksand as adults than we actually do.
It did seem to be a really used often plot point in movies and shows.
Amanda says sinkhole opening up while I'm driving down the Gene Snyder and swallowing me whole.
Yes.
Oh, geez.
Yes, that would be awful.
A lot of people saying birds, like Ashley saying a bird attacking me. Irrational fear.
Yes.
Now, I will say that there are birds, I want to say red-winged blackbirds maybe, that when they are nesting, they will dive bomb you.
Really?
Yeah, because I remember
Like they think you're getting too close?
Yeah.
That's their way of saying stay away?
Yep, they say stay away, and they go and they'll peck you on the head.
Ouchie.
I know.
Well, Jennifer and you had mentioned this before. My irrational fear is the car door opening while I'm driving and I just fall out on the road.
Oh my gosh. Okay, so this, like I said, my daughter, this almost happened to her. She out of
my goodness.
Maybe it was like morbid curiosity or whatever. She's like in second grade. She's passenger side in the back seat, and she just
what does this handle do?
I know, and just kind of opens the door as I'm turning, and she literally starts to fall out, and I'm like, I reach and I quick grab her, and
and that is when
crazy.
we learned to use the child locks.
Oh my gosh!
Yeah, exactly. Nancy is afraid of toads. They're just creepy. Toads. Yeah. Sure.
Selena says peacock feathers. Very specific.
Just the feathers? Not the peacock attached to the feathers?
No, just the peacock feathers.
Okay.
Sharks in swimming pool. That's Morgan's irrational fear.
Yes. Well, yeah, I had that fear as a kid because my grandma would get in and she would play like the shark and chase us around, and we'd jump out and say time's out.
So that was your fear?
Yeah.
Sharks?
Well, sure.
All right.
Yeah, well, and then Jaws lived under my bed after I saw that movie for the first time, even though my brain told me Jaws couldn't survive under my bed because there's no water, but still thought he was going to do so I jumped in and out of the bed.
Chrissy, her irrational fear is being arrested without a bra on.
Oh, okay.
And then Michelle said, I had a boss that was like this. She was afraid of getting into an accident, not having matching bra and panty set on.
Oh, for sure. Yeah, like what if they have to cut my clothes off to save my life?
Like, oh my gosh, look
and
at
then
this
they're judging
chick.
me because I'm not wearing a matching pair.
Look at this girl.
Yeah.
Shoot.
And Natalie is very afraid of aliens coming to take me.
Well, Elizabeth says, I cannot walk past the garage door while we're inside the garage until it's already up or already down. I have a fear that it's going to come down and smash me or grab a hold of my jacket or something as I'm walking under it.
Or a monster is going to crawl at the last minute underneath it, or so you're going to see arms
you
or something.
And your monsters, my God.
I know. There's lots of monsters I have to be aware of. Lisa, if I see a snake in the road, I'll automatically assume that it has crawled up into my car and will be in my bed that night, even if I still see it in the road when I'm past it. Yes. I love that it's not just, slither up in the car and then bite me while I'm driving. It's ride with me home and then slither up to my bedroom and then, wait until I'm asleep and then attack me.
And then get me.
Yeah.
That's funny. Y'all
These
are
are
funny.
good ones.
No, these are good. These are good. All right. Well, hey, thank you for all the stories. And we've got a thread going on Facebook at Ben and Kelly Show if you want to continue the thread, because
that's our support group right there.
Yeah, there are a lot of people that are chiming in with the whole snakes and toilets thing.
Yeah, that's favorite Brad.
Yeah.
He thinks it's going to come up the toilet drain and bite him. Yep.
Yeah, Samantha's saying the same thing, right?
And why is that? Because we've seen stories of snakes in toilets.
Yeah.
Like we've seen stuff like that mostly in Thailand, but we see it.
I feel like we've talked about it on our show before.
Many times.
Yeah.